What's going on, guys? I'm filming this little intro on my phone because I'm lazy. This video is a response to the GB News presenter Mark Dolan. He just did this massive anti-vegan segment. I was gonna put it in my last Face the Facts Friday video, but it was so long I thought let's just post it by itself. So here it is. Enjoy.
Academics, campaigners and environmental experts are calling on all UK universities to adopt completely plant-based catering on their campuses. Did these academics not see the rather distressing report suggesting that children raised on a vegan diet were on average 3 centimetres shorter? The bones of vegan children were also smaller and less strong, putting them at risk of fractures and osteoporosis. A study advising that vegan children should be given vitamin B12 and vitamin D supplements to reduce potentially long-term health consequences of being on a plant-based diet. Welcome to the clown world.
Interesting how this numpty didn't mention in this study they found the vegan children had better cardiovascular risk outcomes than both the veggies and the meat eaters. That means they're less likely to suffer from things like heart disease. You know, one of the biggest killers in the world. I wonder why I leave that out. Baffles, doesn't it? Basically, the message of this study is eat a healthy plant-based diet, take B12 and vitamin D supplements so you don't end up with any deficiencies that could affect your bones. And if you do all of that, you'll be very healthy with a lower risk of dying from one of the biggest killers in the world. It's not quite the zinger you were hoping for, is it, mate?
Have these academics not reflected on the air miles intrinsically linked to a plant-based diet, with ultra-processed meat-free foods made in vast factories, packaged in plastic and shipped around the world?
Pretty sure universities aren't going to be serving up Beyond Meat burgers, mate. The whole point of this new system they're trying to implement is that they want it to be healthier and more sustainable, so why would they bring in impossible food imported from the US, known to not be health foods? They're junk foods.
Did it not come to their attention that plant-based requires vast monocrop agriculture in which millions of hectares of diverse land and the wildlife within it are sacrificed to accommodate mile after mile of corn, wheat and soy?
Most corn and soy is grown for animal feed, to feed animals, to then kill and put in burgers and feed to you, not to feed to vegans.
How about the growing of almonds, which requires billions of litres of water? The same goes for avocados, the mass farming of which is also linked to murderous gang warfare in places like Mexico.
Oh, the avocado industry. You mean the $15 billion avocado industry kept alive and kicking by vegans? Vegans at less than 1% of the population? Vegans are responsible for every issue that's ever happened with avocados. Got it.
Livestock graze on natural land here in the UK without the help of billions of litres of chemical fertilisers and pesticides, which are, of course, essential to plant-based food production.
No, that's not true. The UK has around 1,000 industrial mega farms, with some of these farms holding 1,000 to 2,000 cows, others holding more than 20,000 pigs, and wait for this, some of them holding over 1 million birds. All of them kept inside 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And of course, pumping them full of lovely antibiotics all along the way. Just smashing.
Cows, sheep, goats and lambs simply poo and wee on the ground, enriching the soil and watering it at the same time. These animals consume grass, which grows freely and is inedible to humans.
They just pee and they poo and they eat grass and it magically turns into food. That sounds wonderful, doesn't it? Just a beautiful circle of life. Don't think too much about the farmers shoving their hands inside the animals to get them pregnant and ripping their babies away from them and using them and abusing their bodies until eventually they're less profitable, so shipping them off to a slaughterhouse to have someone shoot them in the head and slit their throat. Don't think about any of that. Just think about the wonderful poo and the pee on the grass and this life cycle and how beautiful they are. Just think about the rolling hills and the blue skies. Focus on that, all right?
The full-size cow contains within her 1,000 portions of meat, as well as the bones, which can be ground up and used as a natural soil nutrient. Blood and other wanted tissue can be used for dog and cat food and jelly. And the hide of the animal can be used for leather. That's before we even get to dairy.
If you abuse and kill animals, you can make money from their dead bodies? No way. No way. That must be why the farmers do it. Like, oh my God. But hey, if it makes you money or you get some kind of benefit from it, abusing and killing and being violent is justifiable, right? It's totally okay. as long as you get benefit from it.
Are Beyond Meat burgers and veggie sausages really going to power the intellectual demands of these young students at university? Good luck with that, given the fact that plant-based protein is far less bioavailable, which means it's not as easily absorbed or used by the body as well as animal protein.
Protein isn't an issue for vegans, as you can see here, 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 and here.
If you go plant-based, you're going to be eating a vast amount more carbohydrates. Bread, pasta, potatoes, rice. Excessive carbohydrate consumption can be linked directly to obesity and type 2 diabetes. And going plant-based means relying on the food industry for ultra-processed, ready-made junk. No one's got time to make a chickpea curry from scratch every day, do they? Do me a favour. It's vegan pizza, bags of chips, and vast mounds of boiled pasta all day long.
Universities do have time to make a chickpea curry from scratch because they, hire a chef and that's their job. People who want to live healthy but don't have much time meal prep for the week ahead. You'd know that if you weren't such a posh, entitled And diabetes, really? From eating an unprocessed plant-based diet, nuts, seeds, legumes, fruits, vegetables, maybe the odd processed thing like a vegan burger or a vegan pizza from time to time, you think that's going to give someone diabetes? Yeah, fat chance, mate. Don't eat pizzas and chips and mountains of boiled pasta. Eat a healthy, varied, balanced, plant-based diet. Get enough carbs, get enough protein, get enough vitamins and minerals and nutrients. Take a couple of B12 and vitamin D tablets and you're done. It's really not rocket science.
Now, I've got viewers and listeners who are vegan and they love it. No problem. If that is your choice, go for it. But in time, I fear it's the authorities that will be choosing what we all eat. And it will be soya, burgers, vegan bacon, and vegetarian lasagna. Welcome to hell.
These right-wingers are always going on about the doom and gloom tactics of the left. And here we have a right-winger doing the exact same thing to try to get people to keep eating meat. Oh, they're going to force you to eat soy burgers and veggie lasagna. It's a university. People don't have to eat there.
And if we pursue this plant-based experiment, I predict the next generation will be sicker, fatter, more tired, and frankly, malnourished.
People eating plant-based have had better health outcomes in most of the studies that people have done on this. So no, if people are eating whole foods, plant-based, with the correct supplementation, they're going to be in a much, much better position than the majority of the population.
Most vegans don't get past 6 months before giving up. There are multiple reports of irregular periods, loss of muscle mass, fatigue, and even depression.
Some people flirt with a plant-based diet for their own selfish reasons like health, and then they get bored and have no willpower, so they flip back to eating what they're used to. That's not veganism. Veganism is an ethical stance against animal abuse. It's a moral thing. And a lot of these reports of people having these issues have been famous influencers who are just looking for 5 minutes of fame. They never bring receipts to back up what they're saying. They just tell a sob story with a load of crocodile tears, and all the anti-vegans pick it up and love them and probably send them money and buy their books and all this shit. It's just a massive scam. Anyone genuinely having health issues should go and see a doctor to find out exactly what's going on, get some tests done or something, because you want to find out exactly what it is, don't you? You don't want to go around guessing.
So in my view, those seeking to enforce a vegan diet on everyone are silly sausages.
Enforce. Hilarious. Students don't have to eat at the restaurant in the university. Most students will, God forbid, go down the road and get food at the local pub. This guy is the personification of everything wrong with journalism, right up there with Piers Morgan. Speculation, fear-mongering, unfounded claims, just serving it all up to please the confirmation biases of his audience so he can keep raking in the views and keep his job. Brilliant.